Oh my, ain't it hot.
Oh yes. Oh, do you live.
I'm done up, I am. This is decidedly the hottest spell we've enjoyed this season.
She's here! She's here!
Whom exactly is here?
You know exactly who. Jenny Lind.
Ah, the Swedish Nightingale herself.
So she's finally made it out to the provinces, eh?
Indeed. While you two have been loafing about, I went to welcome her.
For your information, dear cousin, today, William and I underwent the perfectly awful task of trying to look well while we had our ugly vises transferred to a silver plate by a chemical process involving the light of heaven.
Whatever do you mean?
Walter and I sat for our daguerreotype likenesses.
So did Jenny Lind! At Applebee's, or so I heard Miss Treadwell say. She left her train at Goodman Street, and she had to take a carriage all throughout town. The crowds were so thick to meet her. It was like an outbreak of rushing and crowding and serenading and hurrahing as I have never seen in my whole life.
She does seem to have become quite celebrated this past year.
It's less her voice than her impresario. Phineas T. Barnum has declared her the eighth wonder of the world, and it must be so.
And when have you heard her voice?
Because, my dear cousin, I had the distinct duty to hear Mademoiselle Lind in her glory at the Castle Garden in New York last September.
Your duty?
I was sent to review the lady and her voice by the National Era newspaper.
And?
Oh, what a crowd! What a stretching of necks! What perspiration! Surely no one could help but be interested in such a sweet, womanly, pure-hearted creature as Jenny Lind.
Do you really think so?
So I thought, and so I think yet.
But what about the music? Oh, the music.
Alas, the hearing of her let my imagination down. Dear cousin, kind sir, if you must go hear the angelic Jenny Lind, do not believe 1/10 of what you see in the newspapers, and have wrought yourself up to expect.
But the Democrat says she has a clarity of tone that is unmatched and a virtuosic fluidity that's never been seen before on stage.
Unmatched by anybody in Rochester? Maybe. Clear, yes. Even shrill. Fluid, no doubt. And she sings the Italian showpieces with much ornament. But your true love of music will get very little satisfaction at one of her concerts.
Not everyone can endure a night at the Grand Opera.
She's right, Walter. I know this and that, but I've never taken in an entire night at La Sonnambula. It's about a sleepwalker. I can recognize the big tune.
Then you have missed the entirety of the point. To know of the Bride of Lammermoor through a pianoforte trifle, and to never see poor, crazed Lucia's eyes' unnatural gleam, and her hair falling down her back, flowing and disheveled.
Methinks we have a connoisseur in our midst, Elizabeth.
Cannot begin to fathom what it is like. With the rise of the curtain, you are transported afar. Sit high up in the dark, among the rude and the rough men, looking down, focusing on the limelight. Not a sound except the cello. 'Tis the young man's heart's complaint, and it shakes mad, sweet pangs through my belly and my breast. And the tenor, large and fresh, his vocal creation fills me, the flecks of his mouth pouring out and filling me full.
Sounds almost animal.
And indeed it is, dear cousin. And it is not what Mademoiselle Lind is offering.
Even so, I must see and hear her.
And I suppose you should. I recommend that everyone go once or twice in their life to see the angelic Jenny Lind, and to the Grand Opera.
May so, but I also have heard the voice of Jenny Lind, and she was to me divine.
You have? When? You never told me so.
Well, that's because it was just this very afternoon. After a little while, the door opened, and out she stepped to great acclaim. She bowed graciously as everyone welcomed her with applause. She was so beautiful, Will, dressed all in pink satin with black lace flounces and a cape, and she had rouge on her cheeks.
How audacious.
And she raised a white kid-gloved hand up, and all assembled quieted down as if in church. She stepped forward and raised her head and outpoured a voice of such sweetness that I cannot begin to describe it. They said that you could hear her as far away as Elm Street. The crowds were so hushed.
We must see this creature.
Yes, I suppose we must.
Would you? Would you buy the tickets? Oh, I would be ever so grateful.
Anything for you, Elizabeth. Come, Walter, let's try to wrangle a seat. Hope you don't mind the balcony in the Corinthian Hall. If there was such a crush, it's probably all that's left.
Corinthian Hall?
It was erected 3 years ago. It's quite fine. I saw the Fox sisters there last year. Full house.
Oh, those swindlers. Rap, rap, rap. It's your dead grandfather coming to meddle with you.
The very same ladies. They were homely as sin, too.
What ho,
We're
chaps?
off to secure Jenny Lynn tickets for your sister.
Nate Fairbanks said they're sold out.
No, it can't be.
But you can still make it to the auction. They've added another night. Thursday, I think.
Well, we should be off then. Cousin?
Goodbye, boys. Do what you can.